Conversations with Bob and Sherry is where the extrovert artist meets the introvert engineer. It's where analysis intersects experience. Join us as we explore news and culture to better understand what's true and important. Just a little cursory look at finances within the school. I got into a little issue in the community group because I announced the tax increase that Shaler School Board approved. Now, only 2 of the school board members were engaging on this, in this group. And I appreciate them doing that. I can't say that this applies to all, but my sense from this is that there's really not much due diligence going on between a school board and administration when it comes to finance.
Right.
Unless the school board members have some background in business dealing with financing and budgets and things like that, they're really not equipped to oversee the admin. So they seem to largely take what admin says and run with that. But one thing that becomes apparent from all of that is if you're anywhere, you run a small business, right? So if you have a reduction in income or you have some increase in expenses, so you're a little bit profitable, but then all of a sudden that math changes and you're going to start losing money. Mm-hmm. What do?
You cut back.
So you first thing you do is cut expenses. You got to stop the bleeding.
Expenses, yes.
Yeah, stop the bleeding first, right. And then you have to look at how can I get more revenue? How can it? Now a lot of times it costs money. So if you say, well, I'm going to advertise, well, we're barely getting by now. Where do I get money to advertise? So somehow you've got to work to earn more money coming in. Well, if you're a school, then if you go to your board and you say, hey, approve a tax increase, we need more money. I mean, if you did that as an board of directors over a company, they're going to say, let us see that. We need to see all your expenses, and we need to see your plan for how you're going to restore yourself to profitability, assuming you don't get any more money, either through sales or through investment. So they want to see that. What are you going to cut? What are you going to reduce? None of that I can tell happens. And I've reached out to other people in other school districts. It doesn't seem like it happened. So there's some basic financial knowledge lacking on these school boards. But what I can tell you, okay,
I lost you for
my point in going that long way around the barn is to say if more parents start taking their kids to a charter school, voucher school, that money is collected by the local school district. They then have to give the money out to the other school. When they say this is going to destroy the local school district, it's going to challenge the local school district, especially if they do not already have a mindset of looking at expenses and how they can adjust to operate with the money that they have. You can't just say we're spending $90 million to operate, and then if 20% of our kids get peeled off to go to another school, we still need $90 million. No, you've got to come up with a way where you can right size yourself to the students that you have. And if you don't want to lose those students, then maybe you find out why the parents are taking them out. But in government, there's this entitlement mentality. You can never cut back. You can never furlough teachers or employees or anything like that. Like everything's treated like an absolute necessity. So the instinct of the school boards, the only thing that they know or of the school admin is to go to the school board and say, we need to do a 25% tax increase to cover our 20% loss of students. School vouchers are a definite threat to that way of doing business, but that's partially what they're intended to be, is to force you. It's like Shaler's budget is like $94 million. The tax increase is going to generate just under $2 million. Now, you cannot tell me, and I heard one argument back that if we don't get this tax increase, we got to shut the school down. A $94 million of revenue. If you have a $2 million shortfall to cover your expenses, you got to shut the doors. You can't operate whatsoever. I mean, if that's the mindset, you've got the wrong people handling your finances and making those decisions. No $90 million operation shuts down with a $2 million loss. You adjust.
You adjust. Exactly. You stop building new stadiums and stop building new baseball fields